break it
Okay.
down.
Hey folks, I want to thank you all for coming. Thanks for turning out.
Sorry.
You know, during the pandemic, I appreciate all the masks. Thank you for spacing out and everything. My name is David Odom. I'm with Tennessee Valley Progressive Alliance. We want to say a couple things about the monument and what happened last night. But first, I want to just give a little background. Because a lot of people, you'd be surprised, a lot of people still don't realize what this monument means. They don't realize the history of it. They don't realize that it went up decades after the Civil War in 1905. Why 1905 and why not right after the Civil War? Well, because in that period, racial terror lynchings and racial terror in general was sweeping across the South. All right? It's not a coincidence that monuments like this were springing up everywhere. At the same time, racial terror lynchings were happening everywhere across the South. And in fact, on this very courthouse square, 14 months before this monument went up, a man named Horace Maples was lynched on this very square by an angry mob.
Say his name!
Horace Maples.
Horace Maples was killed in a racial terror lynching on this square while this monument was just about ready to go up. That's not a coincidence. It's all part of the same thing. This monument was a message sent very deliberately in 1905 that said, white people are superior to black people and don't you ever forget it. All right, that's what the monument meant. And back then, everybody knew exactly what it meant. Nobody had any doubt what it meant. That's what it was about. People don't realize that. People don't realize that local people with white supremacist agendas raised the funds to put this thing up. People don't realize that those groups invited the Grand Wizard, the Grand Dragon of the Alabama KKK, to come speak at the unveiling of the monument. He was a senator from Alabama who later became the Grand Dragon of the Alabama KKK. He couldn't make it. He said he had important business to tend to in Washington, but he sent a letter, a really nice letter that was published in the newspaper here. And he went on and on about how glorious the monument was and how it was all about defending the Anglo-Saxon race. So again, the people who put this up, the people who were excited about it, it was crystal clear what it meant. There was never any doubt about it, okay? A lot of people still don't realize that. It's our job to kind of educate folks about that. So on that note, we are planning a teach-in event, an outdoor teach-in that we're going to do here. We're going to have local historians talk about some of that stuff in more detail. But I just want to throw that background out there real quick. Now, I got 3 brief points I want to make about the monument tonight. So, first of all, whoever did this last night, you know, somebody puts stain or paint, looks like blood stains. Can we give that person a hand? Can we give them a round of applause? I don't know who did this. It is technically a crime. They can arrest you for it if they find you. I don't know who did it, but I hope to one day buy that person a drink.
I'm sure the fine isn't too expensive. I'm sure it's under $25,000.
So what they've done here, it looks like bloodstains, right? So my first reaction was, wow, they have made this monument much more historically accurate than it's ever been. All right? So that is why we are saying, let the stain remain. All right? Here's what we mean by that. We've been saying this monument needs to go for years, and it's still here. So as long as the monument stays, we say let the stain remain with it. All right? The monument's already an abomination. Let's let it be a little bit more ugly. Let's let it be a little bit more accurate. Okay? They need to move the monument yesterday. But while the monument stays, let the stain remain too. Second point I want to make. That's this sign. No tax dollars to polish white supremacy. All right, what happened to the monument last night happened. However you feel about it, that's fine. That's up to you. But right now, you want to see the county spend tax dollars to come out here and clean it up?
No.
Heck no. We don't want to polish white supremacy. You cannot pretty up the Confederacy and the legacy of the slavery system. Not a single penny, not a single public resource should be wasted polishing the boots of this monument. Third thing I want to say, and this is kind of my artistic interpretation of what was done last night. Look at the blood stains and notice that what is soaked in blood is not the soldier himself, but it's the pedestal, it's the ground he stands on. And my interpretation of that, and maybe some of y'all will agree with me, maybe not, is that, you know, these soldiers, many of them were themselves secondary victims of the slavery system. And now, you know that the slavery system was put in place to enrich a small ruling class, a small, super wealthy ruling class, through violence and terror against black people, turning black people into property. That system also depended on enlisting poor white people to serve as cannon fodder for the rich, to go fight the slave owners' war for them. They were victims too in a different way. And I found that kind of poignant and kind of meaningful, that it's the ground he stands on. The Confederacy stood on blood-soaked ground. And so I guess the last thing I want to say is, given all that, what an abomination that this thing still stands in 2020 in the center of Huntsville, Alabama. Everybody in any position of authority says they want it moved, right? We've had the city council, county commission, so many different interest groups around town, business groups, religious groups, historical groups. Everybody says, yeah, move it. But when you say, okay, who's going to call the truck? Who's going to call the crane? You get one of these. You do it, you do it. No, it's yours. No, it's yours. All right? Nobody has stepped up. All we're asking is for a local leader to have just a little bit of courage. And the reason I say it just takes a little bit is because other towns have shown us how to do it. Look at what happened in Mobile. The city of Mobile called the state and said, hey, we want to move our monument. We understand there's a fine. We'll pay it. Is that cool? And the state said, yeah, okay, that'll work. And they made a memorandum of understanding, an MOU between Mobile and the state. It's a 4-page document. I can send it to you if you're interested. And it basically says that. It says, we'll send you the money. We're moving the monument. Let's keep this out of court. Have a nice day. Everybody signed off on it. Why can't Huntsville do that? Why can't Madison County? What's the deal?
Money's been raised.
The money's been raised. So our group and other folks in town, through small private donations, have raised more than the $25,000 needed to pay that fine. There's literally no remaining obstacle to Chairman Dale Strong or Mayor Tommy Battle calling a crane and a tow truck and a crew to get this done. So in my opinion, all right, I already said this is the last thing I'm going to say. This is really the last thing I'm going to say. In my opinion, we are at the phase now where we've got to start asking ourselves the question, what are they thinking? Why aren't they acting? Wow, is this thing actually more important to them than we thought? Is the Confederate legacy actually really important to their current politics? I think the unavoidable answer is yeah, apparently so. Apparently they think that to keep their positions of power and to move up, they need to defend this kind of lost cause BS, this white supremacist message right in the heart of our community. I don't know about y'all, but I'm tired of it. I'm not gonna have it anymore. All right? So that's what I got to say. This thing is just going to continue to escalate. All right? Like we've been working on this for years, and big change takes a long time. And we understand that these monuments are symbols, right? We need to take down symbols of white supremacy, but even better than that, we need to take down systems and institutions of white supremacy. Okay? They go together. This is the easiest thing we are asking government to do. Easiest thing. Okay? So, like I said, it's only going to keep building. Everything's been unpredictable up to this point. I can't predict where it's going to go next. But I'm glad everybody is here. Thank you for coming. Take it down! Take it down! Take it down!